In 2004, the province produced a flood hazard land use management guidelines document, and we've been hearing about that tonight. The guidelines state the following: in the absence of more site-specific studies or information, these guidelines are the recommended provincial minimum requirements for land use management in flood hazard areas. So in other words, if we don't have better information available locally, then logically we would rely on these guidelines to give us guidance. So my question then is, are local governments required to follow these provincial guidelines? And are these guidelines necessary for floodplains like ours?
The guidelines aren't rules and aren't regulations or mandatory requirements. They are guidelines. And guidelines are defined as something that's recommended but isn't mandatory. Secondly, somewhere in there, and I haven't paid that much attention to it, because I never thought it was a good idea when the province gave up that power or responsibility to local governments for a variety of reasons. But somewhere in the business of the transferring to local governments this task, it's should rather than must. So, you know, more or less, that I can't quote it, but somewhere in there, it's both implicit and even explicit. So I think that's the answer to your question.
I did ask our local government if they have considered that document since it came out in 2004. And I was informed by them that the city staff has never given direction to council to consider that document. And I asked them if they haven't, why? And their response was, we don't know. So this authority was given to local government, but local government elected officials have never been given a chance to determine, to consider it, which they were told to do. And apparently local government doesn't know why.